Maddie Lake, member of the Young Democrats Club.
Nico Montalvo, president of the Young Democrats Club.
Hunter Gamble, president of the Young Republicans Club.
Blake Clifton, vice president of the Young Republicans.
My name is John Brandon Pierre, candidate for Montgomery County District Clerk.
Would you all like to start with questions?
Sure. How efficient is the current system of documentation in the county?
Currently, there's a couple ways you can answer that question, answer it directly. And that's as far as like the impact in the community that they're having with the office. The other one is a monetary percentage we're not looking for as far as a rating system. Currently, we don't have a rating system. Right now, the only way to really, I think, have a feel on where the efficiency is in the office is by talking to the lawyers and by talking to people that have been into the office. And that's one of the beautiful things about block walking. When you're out block walking around the county, you get to hear all these different stories that you never knew, were things happening. You also get a feel of how the performance has been. For example, for example, there was a man that I met a couple months ago during block walking, and he had a case that was pending in court here in Montgomery County. What ended up happening was someone besides him or his lawyer decided to call the district clerk's office and enter a plea for his case. Now, at that point, my jaw dropped, because that's not something that's supposed to happen. That's like the basics of the. It's not supposed to happen. So things like that, issues like people having to come up multiple times from across the county to file documents that they've already paid to have filed and that have expired numerous times. So with that being said, it goes to show that when you have inefficiencies with filing documents, when you have problems with the basics, the people who end up paying for it are Joe and Jane, Doe that come in. The people that end up doing extra work for it, that end up charging other people, are the lawyers. If the lawyers can't efficiently do their job, guess who's paying for the extra man hours? The client is. The bills trickle down, So, did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
What exactly does the county clerk do? And can you list some of your responsibilities?
Sure. That's the district clerk.
Yes.
So the responsibilities of the district clerk, as the elected district clerk, you manage an office of 60 clerks. The purpose of the office is to manage all of the filing and security and safeguarding the documents that are filed in our judicial system. A few other responsibilities that the district clerk, the elected district clerk, has are responsibilities like, for example, the district clerk sits on the board that determines what a jury of your peers looks like, how we use our jury pool, and how we're able to change it in the future or not. They also have a hand in how we levy bail as a county. That's a big issue. You don't think about bail until you get pulled over and you end up having a bill that you can't pay, right? That means that you sit in jail. That means that if that happens on a Sunday night, you have work Monday morning, guess who's not showing up at work? Now your job's in jeopardy. So this is a big part of it's a factor in how we have unemployment as a county. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Rules, what it does, awesome.
Building off your question, actually, how are you going to ensure that there will be no special privilege or special treatment of clients?
That's something that comes down from leadership. That's something that comes down from the person sitting in the office. Because the district clerk is not the person at the front desk, helping the person that comes into the district clerk's office. So the way that the district clerk, the relationship that they have with the clerks in the office, the standard of leadership that we have set, the standard of service that we have set, all these things trickle down to how they end up interacting with either the client that walks in, or with a lawyer representing someone here in Montgomery County, or a judge. So I think that when you have someone sitting in the office who champions that, because that's sort of a virtuous perspective. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you have someone who has that as a part of their leadership, that's how people that walk into the office will get treated. If you have someone in leadership who doesn't care, this is a 9 to 5 or not, you know, everyone that comes in here has issues or not, but what the hell, they're on my time. You know, now we have issues with how people get treated in the office, regardless of you know, their different class or status or identity. You gotta hit it from the top. Awesome.
Based on your previous background, how do your past experiences make you uniquely qualified for this job in Montgomery County?
Beautiful. I like that question. That's awesome. Anything that allows me to talk about the Marines, right? So I served for 12 years in the Marine Corps. I got out as an E5, a sergeant. I was a rating safety officer. I was an OSHA, sir. I was an OSHA officer for 7th Engineer Support Battalion. Dude, when you are bound by war and order to have a certain type of standard, you can't fall beneath, right? Otherwise, you know, life gets really bad, especially in the military when you don't do what you're supposed to do. A good way of saying this is that as an NCO, a non-commissioned officer, you are in charge of the efficiency, the proficiency, the combat readiness, the personal lives, whatnot, you know, all of this for every single Marine under your charge. I've done that numbering in the hundreds. This office is only 60 clerks. I mean, when it comes down to understanding different people that make up the team that you're trying to galvanize to do a certain goal or mission or provide a certain service or not, you have to be able to understand the different people in your office. The beauty about the office now is that, you know, on the civilian side, you have a say in who works for you. In the military side, you have no say with who shows up under your charge. They could be different gender, they could be a different ethnicity, they could be a different, you know, political leaning, you know. It's a bag of cats, but you love it, you know. Jobs like billets, having multiple billets in the military, which are kind of like secondary jobs, is kind of cool because it gives you the ability to do multiple things in leadership at one time. So, for example, I was an OSHA officer for 7th ESB. That did not mean that, you know, my jobs as a Lance Corporal at that time, which that was like the hardest billet anyone's ever given me. It doesn't mean that my other responsibilities were not equally as important. You know what I mean? It's just this was something on top of it. But it's a situation where I had to go through continuous school and training and beyond so that I could understand the systems that were being used on base. You know, so that I could walk in the office day one, ready to rock and roll, ready to assess everything, and ready to make the changes needed so that the battalion doesn't get hit. You know, it's one of those things where in the military you don't really have this idea of hiring from the outside or the inside. Everybody's inside. But sometimes when you pick up a job, there's a period of adjustment and there's a period of training. Being an executive officer in an office is not the same thing as being a ground level worker. They're two very different situations. The CEO of a company, by the way, I own Pinnacle Fitness and Training. The CEO of a company has to understand what the focus is of their business and why they're here as a group, and also see where they're headed in the future. The statistics or not probabilities of what's needed, you know, by the office, whether it's different technology, right? Whether it's different resources, you know what I mean? And keeping an eye on those things while they're also managing the other responsibilities of the job. There's the reason why there's an office manager. But the efficiency of the office manager falls directly on the shoulders of the district clerk. It's their responsibility. Does that give you a little bit more?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Awesome sauce.
All right. What about, you just mentioned that you're in the Marines, so what about your life has brought you to this position of clerk and not any other position?
I like that. I like that. You guys giving me some questions I can like dig deep into. I like this. This is cool. So, I'm a 9/11 Marine, right? That means when 9/11 happened, I was sitting at home. I was 18 years old. I went to Klein Oak High School, and I was supposed to go to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University for engineering, right? So, when that happened, when 9/11 took place, it's something, I don't know, like, what I wanted just wasn't the focus. It wasn't my focus at that point. And I had my first decision of my own to make. So I ran all the way down to the Marine Corps recruiting station on the way in Kirkendall. And I showed up, and the impact that moment had on me shook me for I think the rest of my life. All the offices were open, operating, and whatnot, you know, doing their daily thing. When I walked up to the Marine Corps' office, the doors were locked, the lights were off, and there was a post-it note. All it said is, "We'll be back when the job's done." You know, it just hit me hard, you know. From then on, I mean, from there I decided to join the Marine Corps. I didn't think it was going to take 12 years of my life. I was like, oh, 4 and I'm done. No. But you get a certain sense of value from serving. Serving begins to do something for you, you know. It's not just about you. It's about something greater than yourself. I mean, that's a lot of things that you hear from like recruiters and whatnot, but it's true, especially when you get out and you start looking for the next way that you can, you know, serve in some other capacity, you know, whether it's, you know, running locally, you know, whether it's diving all of your time into your family or not, and you serve them completely, whether it's you get a job or not that has a focus and you serve that way, or some, you know, sorry, what's that? Oh, I thought you said something. Or some charity or whatnot, you know. But that's what it began to be. When I got out of active duty, before I went into the reserves, I started Pinnacle Fitness and Training. The purpose of it was just to give people a quality level of health, you know, fitness information, you know, and to train. I felt like because of the things that I've done, because of things that people in my fire team had to go through, you know, over those years, this helps me elongate the lives that people still care. You know, it helps me do something to make their lives a little bit better, and it was worth the time, it was worth the effort, it was worth the sleepless nights. So when you take that, you know, I started going to school at Sam Houston for psychology and philosophy, and in philosophy you kind of learn that base underlining of what it is to be, you know, one of us, you know, humans. And serving for me just keeps coming up. So when you hear about an election coming up, you don't have people running for office. You got people scared to run and everything, and that's, first of all, that's the first problem. That's the first problem, right? When we fought for everything we fought for, it all required us to come together at the end in order to make any gains or whatnot, or achieve any mission. So when I was at Sam Houston last year, I heard about the different offices, you know, for the, you know, coming up for election. And the question was, the office that's open, I get that I want to serve, not as a position, I'm at that position where it's a weird question. Do I want to elongate my time to get my degree by 1 semester? Or do I want to serve my country, again, locally, because I have the skills and the background to do the job? There will be a training session, they'll tell me what gets filed and where. That's great, it's not the importance. The importance is doing the job of the CEO of the office or not, making sure that everyone in the office is what they need to do the job expediently, efficiently, and with eyes to whereas when they see something that they think needs to be updated or that needs to be brought forward, they can do that. They need to be able to do that. That's how we keep the office moving forward, because I'm not the one that's using the equipment as much as they are. So along with that, you know, wait, let me make sure. Did I answer your question?
It was my name, yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I don't want to talk. I'm verbose. I've been told that. You just, you know, care about stuff.
Do you think the county district clerk is a bipartisan position?
Yes, the district clerk of Montgomery County is a bipartisan, a nonpartisan office. That's not even an argument. That's simply what the office is. Because of the fact that when it's a judicial issue, it should not be a partisan office. It has to be able to serve. It has to be able to serve everyone in Montgomery County fairly.
I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right on.
Blake Clifton, Vice President of the Young Republicans Club of Magnolia High Schools.
Hunter Gamble, president of the Young Republicans Club of Vermillion High Schools.
Nika Montalvo, president of the Conroe High Young Democrat Club.
Maddie Lake, member of the Conroe High Young Democrat Club.
Melissa Miller is the Republican nominee for district clerk.
And John Brandon Pierre is the Democrat nominee for district clerk.
Qualifications for Ms. Miller are, she's worked in the clerk's office for 19 years as a deputy clerk, and
Right, she's worked there for certainly long enough, but
Yeah.
she just hasn't made a move yet until now.
yes.
Clerk doesn't have that experience of working in the district, in the clerk's office specifically, but he does have experience working as a leader in organizing.
Because he was in the Marines
Yeah.
for the majority of his
Yeah.
life. He
Yeah.
didn't plan on staying in as long as he did.
Yes, and I know specifically Marines, they at low ranks, they lead a large amount of men over like other branches of the military.
Right.
So he definitely has that leadership ability
Yeah.
to be the district clerk, and I just Melissa has only she's been the office manager for what is it 5 years, and she's worked with every department in the county. She kind of knows how it works, and I mean I could see that's an advantage, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both of the candidates, and
In terms of like actual experience in said field, I mean, she has had more hands-on experience, but he has, like you said, more leadership abilities and.
Right. So they're almost at the same
Kind of
level.
balances.
Yeah.
Pierre definitely has a different range of leadership
Mhm.
experiences. She pretty much just has like
This
the
specific.
clerk.
Yeah,
right.
She knows this job, and she knows how it runs and everything like
But
that.
at the same time, she hasn't taken anything to change anything yet.
Yeah.
So was it a question of waiting for the right time, or was she seeing if she could figure things out already from within?
Yeah.
That is true, but Melissa is she wasn't able to attend. She also provided answers in the Montgomery County Republican Review 2018 primary, and we're also going to be publishing that on our Facebook page so for all of you.
Yes.
We're done?
Exactly.
Well, we never really got an answer from her on her stance on it being nonpartisan.
Yes.
When we asked Reverend Pierre, he did believe
Yes.
right, that it was a nonpartisan job. So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
would she be able to?
Give us a response back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can definitely shoot her an email and see how she feels about that.
It's very.
Puts us at a disadvantage to endorse her or select her because while your questions are answered, our questions are not.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I don't want to be too one-sided.
Yeah. I definitely like Garrett's skill set, especially the Marine Corps background.
Ms. Miller, having her in this one field for that amount of time.
Yeah,
Right.
but I agree with their points of saying like, could she not do anything, or did she just not choose to do anything, like update and such like that.
Thanks.
But what are y'all's views?
Again, it's really hard. First impressions, like if we just based on qualifications, what we just talked about, it is very equal. I feel that Brandon Pierre offers a more variety of skill sets that can be applied. And Ms. Miller, while she has been in this position, she's given no information on what she's done to change anything. Brandon Pierre's going there with a plan.
So y'all like Pierre?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
We know what we can do to support our Republican nominee.
yeah, well,
Assuming they do the same.
y'all are gonna support y'all's nominee and we'll support our nominee.